Hello, I'm Kirsteen and I'm an artist. And when I tell people that, they usually tell me, "Oh my goodness, I would love to do art, but I had to stop because." And then they tell me the things that are stopping them. I've created this YouTube channel to try to help people with those things that are stopping them from creating art so that they can do more art and have more fun and more create in their lives. Um, I wanted to talk briefly about getting work done, making yourself work, accountability, schedule, and the monsters in your head that tell you, I can't do art, I can't do art, I can't do art. So, a lot of people think they need to do a lot of prep, or they need a big studio space, or they need expensive materials, or they need massive planning. And I find that it's the other way around. You need inspiration, then you'll solve the materials, and you get inspiration by working. So it's kind of like everything that you think stopping you will stop stopping you once you start working. If you see what I mean, it's a backwards thing. You have to think, well, I need studio space, I need more planning, I need more inspiration, I need more time. If you start working, you'll find the time. If you start working, you'll find you can work on a little board propped on the edge of your sink until you have more studio space, which you will then make in your house somehow, or in your van, or in the corner of the holiday chalet you're living in. I'm talking about real places where I've created artwork, textile design, etc. So the a good thing is a schedule. I talked to a lot of designers once. I was in a textile designers forum, which I'm still in, and I asked, lots of people on here have children. I'm a single parent with two kids. How do you get work done during the day? My daughter goes to school and I get into a sort of panic and I'm like, I've got 6 hours, I've got to work. And wait, no, it's actually only 5 because I drop her off and pick her up. No, wait, I have to eat some food. And even if I sort of research while I eat, that makes it 4.5. And oh my God, 4.5 hours and I have to produce 30 designs this month. And where do I start? And the biggest thing that came up on that survey of designers was schedule. You do a specific time when you're sitting at your desk each week, or a specific time each day, and you stay at your desk till you've done the thing. And another big point that I personally had said, and a lot of other people agreed with or said that they also had that rule, was that you keep going on the thing you're on until it's finished. So one thing all the way to the end. So for example, I wrote a book recently, which I have plans for, but it's not a long book, it's a little short story. It's 19,000 words. But I wrote it in about 2 weeks. And the thing that I did was I started at the beginning and I wrote all the way to the end without editing. And I know so many people who've been rewriting the first chapter of their book for the last 10 years. And then they say to me, how do you do that? How did you write a story in 2 weeks? And it's because I kept going. And at the end I'll edit. Now, the thing is the same with all sorts of art forms, and I'm very lucky because I used to do some acting, and then you have an audience, and then you have to keep going to the end. You practice it beforehand, but once you're up there in the live show, everything that goes wrong, you don't stop, you don't think about it, you just do the next line. And interestingly, calligraphy is also a lot like that. You start the writing, you need the flow, you need the fluency, so you have to keep going until the end. And pottery is like that. If you're throwing and you're pulling up the pot and it's twirling and you don't want it to wobble and go to bits, you keep going in one smooth movement and another smooth movement, and each smooth movement has to go to its end. And this is hugely successful for creating art. I tell people, imagine you're a fireman and you arrive at the burning building and there's people inside, and you say to yourself, or you say to your boss, well, I'm not really in a firefighty kind of mood, I don't have the right inspiration, and I'm not sure this is the right, kind of day for firefighting. And your boss would be like, get in there and rescue the people before the building burns. You don't need to be in an art kind of mood. It's a job. Go put out the fire. Go do it. And I really noticed this when I did every day a drawing a day for 2 years, which is a little over 700 drawings. I decided I'm going to face the amount of practice this actually takes to actually get quite good at drawing. I still think I'm going to get my mum to do some drawing masterclasses because I still think she knocks spots off me. But I put some of the effort in to get good at drawing and develop my own style. And for 20 minutes to an hour, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes longer each day, even though my son was tiny, I did a drawing and shared it on Facebook. And at first, I would do several drawings and only share the good one. And then after a while, I would share them with long excuses. And then after that, I got sort of interested in trying to share subjects that got lots of likes. People like kittens. But by the end of, the first year or the beginning of the second year, I just did a drawing and shared it, did a drawing and shared it, did a drawing and shared it. Didn't care about reactions from people, didn't mind if I had sunstroke or some personal emotional problem. In there occasionally there's drawings of daggers and skulls. So I wasn't having a good day, and if you look, although they're aesthetic daggers and skulls, you can go, ooh, dagger and skull day. But the thing is, I still drew, even if I drew daggers and skulls, and I discovered that you can draw through anything that happens, like pretty much anything that happens, until you break both your hands or you're lying in bed so weak you can't lift a pencil. Anything pretty much short of those physical things you have going on in your head. Just work anyway. In fact, you will feel better. I always felt better. I never got to the end of my 20 minutes of drawing or my 2 hours of drawing and thought, I shouldn't create art today over all that trauma. Or I shouldn't have created art in the middle of that family crisis. Never. I always felt better, more able to deal with my life, happier, more, beneficial to the people around me for having taken the time to do my own art. So try to schedule, try to set quotas. I'm going to do one drawing every day, or I'm going to do 30 designs this month, which means, 20 in the first week to get over the hump. And, I've got the second 3 weeks to do the other 10, or however it is that it works for you. I find that's quite a good way to do it, binge and break the back of it and then be like, oh, I can take my time with the last little bit. Work anyway, put out the fire. Integrity. Doing something you hate, doing commissions only for money, doing paintings only for money with no integrity. I'm not saying you can't take commissions, but I'm saying take ones that are kind of in your style or in your zone or you're interested in doing. If you hate the thing, no amount of scheduling and discipline will make you do it on time and fast. Try not to accept work you hate. This may be very bad financial advice. I'm not interested in trying to give anyone financial advice. I'm giving them advice on getting art done. Working that out as a financial endeavor would be a different project. Maybe I will do a YouTube thing about that, but I'm just talking about getting art done. If you hate the project, you will postpone it. If you hate the project, you will not create with it. If you hate the project, you will not even do a good job of it. So I think financially it's probably a bad idea as well, because clients don't like bad jobs. So try to accept things you want. Try to accept things that were within your integrity as an artist. This fits in the commercial zone because someone's commissioned it, fine, but it also fits in my zone of the sort of work I would do or enjoy, or can at least semi-enjoy. When I was designing textiles at first, it was designing loads of different things that I absolutely loved, and then more and more design studios told me, well, this doesn't sell, and this doesn't sell, and this doesn't sell, and this doesn't sell. And eventually, just before the Drawing a Day project, I literally stopped designing because I felt like I was just standing on this little tiny dot that I was allowed to work within, and I had no interest in that. It was outside my integrity as an artist. All my ideas were blocked off. So try to accept things that you want to do. Inspiration doesn't come out of a dark place in your head. It doesn't come out of a bottle of whiskey, and it doesn't come out of sitting in a dark room crying. Despite the myths about artists, and they show them all doing that, and they think that their evil twisted mind is where they get their inspiration. Inspiration comes from the environment. Okay, I'm just taking that position. You can shoot me down if you like. Inspiration comes from out there. It comes from looking and doing. I find that if you go for a walk, talk to a friend, look at the packaging on the cereal boxes, go to an exhibition, you will work. I once called a blog of mine Feel, Create, Repeat, because you go out and feel things, experience things, do things, eat things, all right? Then you create, and then you go and do it again. Hence, feel, create, repeat. So inspiration doesn't come from sitting alone in your head. It comes from doing. If you can't get inspiration, then go take a walk, go take some photographs, go sketch something that is boring, like, the contents of your handbag. Go, start, do things, experience things, feel it, live it, then you will create it. Um, yes, so criticism. Oh my goodness. Criticism, self criticism, other people's criticism. Don't bother with it. There's so many people in life who are going to criticize you. You do not need to add yourself to that list. People are going to criticize me. The first time I ever put a painting on eBay, somebody sent me a whole page long, like 100 words at least, and probably 300, about what a terrible artist I was, how useless my painting was, how I couldn't paint hands, and because it was a nude and because I didn't have pay for a model and had used myself, he said, all Aussie bayers have seen your titties and we think you're whatever. This guy obviously needed a girlfriend. So this is time out of someone's life that they have spent trying to stop your create. People only do that when they themselves cannot create. All right, you're way above that. You're a creator. Just ignore it. Don't even rebut it. I mean, I did get this guy's account deleted, but I didn't write to him and use up my day answering his points. Okay, because that's my day that I can spend painting more things and listing them on eBay. And, 3 days later I sold a painting for a few £100 and I felt much better about eBay. I wouldn't really recommend listing your paintings on eBay. Back in the day it was kind of a thing I was experimenting with, but it's not really a good forum because it's like a place where people buy things for cheap. But the point is, I was flowing it out, and I definitely recommend doing that. You put your art out there, and then when people criticize, just ignore it. Don't even spend time rebutting it or something. And the same with the people around you. I had a bad lecturer who described my artwork as a load of old grass stains once. And he went round all the classmates I was working with and tried to get them to turn on me. And bless them, none of them would turn on me. They were like, it's maybe not up to Kirsteen's usual excellent standards, but it's okay, So I didn't spend time shouting at him. I didn't spend time getting upset at him. I ignored him, and he didn't stay in that job very long because I had too many nice lecturers and he didn't like it there. But what I did do was I looked over my work and I kind of went, okay, I can do a better job of this. And I did such an amazing job of that bit that everyone was praising that above other things that were in that particular project. So, you can go ahead and create more or create better, but I wouldn't let it stop you. Don't think, oh, I better take time on this, and don't think about it too much, and definitely don't adopt it, because people say the things that they themselves are struggling with because they can't create. They say the things that they have in their dark mess in their head. It's got nothing to do with you or your artwork. So when they're criticizing you, they're basically telling you what horrible monsters they live with day in, day out, and the only thing to do is just briefly feel sorry for them and go and do your own thing. So don't let it stop you. Don't adopt it and then say it to yourself later. Oh my God, they're right, I can't draw hands. Oh my God, they're right, all those bears have seen my titties. Okay, that was their dark mess. And if you find yourself doing that, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, just get to the end, ignore it. Shut the trapdoor on that any way you can, because some art is better than no art. So get to the end, put out the fire. You're the fireman, not the thinker. Thinking is the enemy. If you're writing a book, plan maybe 1 page of notes, chapter headings, and a little line about what you're going to do. If you're making a pot, maybe have one rough sketch. And the other thing is, don't have a mental idea of how this perfect pot is going to look that you absolutely stick to, and then compare the real universe with the universe in your mind, or the universe of your creation, because it's never going to measure up. The things you can instantaneously create in your mind are always going to be better than things that are made with crude matter, with clay, with pencils. So create as you do it. All right, so don't be like, it doesn't look like I imagined it when I dreamt it with, the stuff of, imagination dust and magic. It's never going to look like that. You made it with a pencil. In the real world, it's not going to look like imagination dust. However, it can look much better than your last pencil drawing, and the one you do after that will look better than the pencil drawing before that. And it can still have a beneficial emotional effect on the people around you. So, rather than give up because it doesn't look like imagination dust world, just make sure it's a better pencil drawing than the last one. Or at least you learn something from it. Finish it. Do it to the end. Get through the awkward stage, shut the trapdoor on the monsters. Do the next one, do the next one, do the next one. 10,000 hours down the line, it will start to look better than you ever imagined you could draw. Even if it still doesn't look like the imagination dust in your head, just give that a little tick. Be like, I made up this amazing painting that I could never paint. Tick! Now I'm creating this one newly on the canvas as I create it. So that's fluency, theatre, photography, edit later. Yes, good. I've gotten through these notes. So this is how to make yourself do work. Basically, to summarize, try to have a schedule. Try to set quotas, like I'm going to draw every day for 2 years. Try to do things that you're interested in doing, and not just things for motivations like money. Motivations like money don't really carry you through. Try to experience things, and then you will have inspiration rather than sit there waiting for inspiration. And don't get into criticism by other people or by yourself. Just shut it down, ignore it, get on. Art is better than no art. There's a shortage of artists in the world. There's a shortage of happiness. There's a shortage of people creating. So go ahead and create bad art, and you can edit later. You can get better with practice.